Okay, we're going to work on our project 1, which is a basic old school HTML website without any of the new bells and whistles. So we learn a little bit about Dreamweaver and see some of the basics of HTML and how they work together. So I have Dreamweaver open here. I'm going to close this opening window and move this to the side. I also have a root folder here. This is a folder where I'm going to keep all of my assets and web pages for this website. If I open that, I have an image folder here within that root folder. And I already have some images created for this website. I can edit those ahead of time, crop them for size, make any adjustments I want to in Photoshop or any other photo editing software. I got those images off the internet, so you can use your own images or find online images. I'm going to save my web pages and everything out here in the actual root folder for this project. I also have a backup of this folder on a flash drive here. It's always good to have a backup as you work. Save it every now and then on both your desktop or laptop and a backup flash drive. Okay, so I have Dreamweaver here. We have a menu at the top. This is where our working file will be. We have our panels over here on the right and the properties panel at the bottom. Let me go ahead and do the first thing we should always do, which is connect to that root folder, connect to our site folder. I can go to Site, Manage Sites. I don't have any pre-existing sites here, so I can set up a new site and give it a name. This name's not that important. It's just sort of a name for that link we're making from Dreamweaver to the root folder. I'm going to call mine Zombie and go to local site folder. I'm going to browse from my local site folder. Mine's on the desktop. There it is. Double click to connect to that. Choose. Next, I'm going to go to my advanced settings, local information, local info, default images folder. I'm going to browse for that default images folder. Double click the images folder and say choose or OK. And now we're connected to that site and to the images folder, so we're ready to work. Let's hit save and done. The book will show you a different way to connect to your root folder. Most Adobe products, including Dreamweaver, give you 3 to 4 ways to do any one thing, and that's just to confuse you. But that's the way I usually go through the site. Okay. Now that we're connected to that site, I can see in my files panel that there's my site folder. There's my images folder with all my images. So I can connect and work right from my root folder through the files panel in Dreamweaver. If I ever accidentally close a window or panel in Dreamweaver, I can come up here to Window and I can find it under here. There's my files panel. If I ever move everything around and get really confused where everything is, I can always go back to Window, Workspace Layout, Reset. There's 2 main views, a compact and expanded, and for this project I'm going to keep it on compact. And there, once again, there's my files panel. Well, let's make our first page. File, New. This is going to be a blank page. It's an HTML document. It's not going to have any pre-made layout. There are some pre-made layouts here, but we're going to say none, so we can start from scratch. We're using HTML5, Hypertext Markup Language 5 doc type, and let's create. First thing we should do is save this. So I'm going to say File, Save As. And we're not going to make a template or anything. We're going to do the old school way. We're just going to make a page. Index. This is going to be saved as index.html. Your home page is going to be your home page. Your home page will always be saved as index. No capital letters, no spaces, no extra punctuation in the names. Just index.html. It's going right to the root folder, which I can see here. And I'm going to save it out here in my root folder, so let's hit save. Okay, there, so we actually have the page. Let's put a title. This is my Zombie Patriot home page. And this title appears in the title bar of your browser. All right, so this is our document right here. It's a blank white document, sort of like a Microsoft Word document. And we can click up here to the left and start typing. We're not going to do any div tags or page structures or CSS for this project. We're just going to go right in there and start creating the page old school style. We may use some CSS styles for images. That's about it. So I'm going to click to the top here and type in the title for my webpage, from my website. I can call this Zombie Patriots. I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to put in the navigation system or navigation bars for this website. And you start off with home, space, pipe tool, space, about, space, pipe tool, space, videos, space, pipe tool. The pipe tool is shift and the key right above the enter or return key is the pipe tool. Hit space and then contact. Now we're going to make the old school simple linking method for our navigation bar. Let's hit enter after we got that typed out. Now I'm going to make a welcome message. I'm going to say welcome. This is going to be my welcome section. Hit enter or return. And I'm going to type a little welcome message. I'm not going to think too hard about it. I'm just going to make a message for my target audiences, which is zombies or zombie fans. Welcome to the Zombie Patriot website where we celebrate our undead freedoms and our bloodthirsty liberty. Hit enter for my next paragraph. Join us pale patriots as we shamble aimlessly throughout the land, spreading undying love of country and feasting on tyrannical brains. Good enough. You can type something to reach your target audience. Now I'm not the best speller, so I can do a spell check here. Command check spelling. I guess it doesn't recognize the word undead, but I know it's a word, so I'm going to ignore that. Tyrannical, I'm going to change that. And there we go. I'm done. Okay, now let's do the next section. First, we're going to do the Declaration of Independence. Declaration of Independence. And I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to paste the Declaration of Independence text from a website there. I'm going to open up my Blackboard. Because I know there's a link to the text of the Declaration of Independence in our Blackboard, Project 1, so you should probably do this too. So bear with me for a second while I track down this information, and you can open up your Blackboard also. This is the week 2 folder, the project description, all the way towards the bottom. And there's a link to the Declaration of Independence. I'm not going to take all this preliminary titles. I'm going to take some of these paragraphs here. Actually, I'm not going to take all that middle part. I just need enough text to work with, so I'm going to take these first couple paragraphs. I can copy that, Command C. I can come right over here. You can either hit Command V and paste it in place, or I can go to Edit, Paste, or Paste Special. Paste Special lets you do text only or text with structures, which maintains the paragraph structure and line breaks. I'm going to keep those. There we are. I'm going to hit Return and come back here. I'm just going to get the last few paragraphs at the bottom. So we can see we can copy searchable text from the internet. Command C, and I'm going to go ahead and hit Command V this time. Hit Enter. Next I'm going to type the Bill of Rights. Hit Enter. Come back to my Blackboard. There's a link to the Bill of Rights. There we are. And I'm going to click right here, Congress of the United States, and go ahead and get, I'll just get the first 10, the most important ones. Just kidding. Command C, come back over here, and Command V. There we go. Now we have some of the main text for this page. And next I'm going to click down here, hit Enter, and I'm going to do some external links. So I'm going to type in external links, or I could say something like visit these websites for more information. I'm going to capitalize these. It's going to be sort of a title line there. I can hit Enter. And then I should have, in the description, there should be some links, some description of links. Okay, it says we can add 3 links to external patriotic websites. So how can I do that? Easy way to do it. Here's my Declaration of Independence. I could highlight this, copy it, paste it right here, highlight that URL. With the text highlighted, I can come down here in my Properties window in the Links section and paste that URL. So I copied the URL, I highlighted the text, and pasted it down here in the link. Now that's an actual link. That's my Declaration of Independence. I'm going to do the Bill of Rights page now. I'm going to link to there. Actually, I'm just going to link to the www.archives.gov and copy that one. You can link to this or something else, anything historical or patriotic. So I'm going to link to that. I'm going to highlight that text, come down here in my Properties window, and paste that URL. Hit Enter. And I'm going to do, I'll find one more page here. How about White House? Here's the official website of the White House. So I'm going to copy that URL. I don't have to paste URL in here. I could paste something like White House website. I could highlight that text with my cursor, come down here in the Properties window, and in the Links section, I'm going to paste that URL, that internet address for the White House. So I'm pasting that there, and that automatically makes this a link. And you can see, once we make something a link, it turns to that blue color. Well, let me save this File save. And I can preview this. Preview in Safari or Chrome or any other web browser. And there's my first website, my first web page of that website. And I can see it's sort of a pain to read. It's not very attractive. And it's all the text is crammed in there, all the type is crammed in there, and sort of hard to read. By the time I get halfway down, my eyes will get tired. So I want to find some ways to make things more interesting, to make the important parts stand out, make the titles stand out, make the subtitles, subheadings stand out. Like maybe add some indentations, some bold text, things like that, to add to the hierarchy. The levels of hierarchy are the levels of importance. What do I want the viewer to see first? Probably the title of the page. Then I want to see the subsections of welcome, Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, external links. And then I can put some differentiation into the paragraphs themselves. So let's start adding some variation and some hierarchy to our website, to our web page. So I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to highlight Zombie Patriots. And instead of making, this is all paragraph text. Well, before we start adding a hierarchy, let's look at some of the code. We haven't looked at the code side yet. So let me look at the code side. And we can see, this tells me what type of document I have here at the top, HTML. The HTML document is made up of code. On the side that the viewer doesn't see is code or tags, HTML tags that define the site or define the web page and how the content is presented to the viewer. HTML at the top, here's my HTML opening tag, and down here at the bottom I have an HTML closing tag. My HTML code is all in between those opening and closing tag. Here's my head tag, opening and closing. That's metadata, title that you see here is in the head tag. Keywords, other information we could add to the head tag. That's sort of the back side that is not visible to the viewer. All the visible content of the website that the viewer would see is within the body opening and closing tag. There's my body opening tag. Down here at the bottom is my body closing tag. Now we also see we have all these P tags, all this text or type within an opening and closing P tag. That means it's paragraph text. It's your basic paragraph body text. Okay, we're going to add some variations in a little bit. We already made some links. Here's the text that are links. For example, my White House website, I made that a link. Here's a URL in blue where that link leads to. How does Dreamweaver or how does the browser know it's a link? Because it adds this code, A space href equals and then the link. And on the other side, the closing tag is A. So we see that A stands for link or hyperlink. A, href, there's where it's linking to. There's a text that is linking. And there's the closing tag for that. This is also in the P tag because it is paragraph type or paragraph text. So again, there's my body closing tag and my HTML closing tag. Alright, so I think we're ready to start adding some variation and some hierarchy to this website. And we'll do that